on your side. NBC12 News at 11 starts with breaking weather.
Right now at 11, all counties north of Richmond, including the city, under a winter weather advisory tonight ahead of more snowfall. A live check of radar, and the good news is we shouldn't see anything like Monday. We're on your side tonight with the areas that could be the hardest hit.
Of course, already a lot of closings and delays ahead of the winter weather that is going across your screen right now. But here's a quick look at some of the bigger school systems. Richmond and Henrico are going in 2 hours late. So is Powhatan. Goochland and Louisa are closed. Louisa has already said it will be closed through Monday.
And now for a check of the roadways. Not a whole lot going on, but keep in mind as temperatures start to plummet overnight, roads likely to become more hazardous. The good news here is VDOT has already treated many major thoroughfares. Good evening, and thanks for staying up late with us. I'm Kurt Autry.
And I'm Simone Cucarulo. We have a lot to cover tonight. We have team coverage for you, working to get you the latest information. Of course, we are joined by meteorologist Megan Wise, who is tracking all of it for us.
And AJ Nwoko out live right now in Louisa, where we're told the snow has started to fall. That's an area that was hit especially hard Monday. AJ, what's it like now?
Snow is falling pretty consistently now. I'm told everyone in this area in particular, is the only one with power right now. But as the snow continues to fall, I'll keep you updated on how it continues to develop throughout the evening. Back to you guys.
All right, AJ, thank you. We'll check back with him shortly. In the meantime, Megan, you just got new guidance, so what's the latest?
We are watching a winter weather advisory that goes into effect at midnight tonight. These are all the counties that are highlighted in purple here. It does include the city of Richmond. Just about everywhere points north and northwest of town. Unfortunately, these were some of the hardest hit areas earlier this week, but we are not anticipating what we had on Monday. We will see some accumulation overnight, but this is a very quick moving system, and it'll be out of here by the time most of us wake up tomorrow morning. Now, as far as if you have to be out on the roads, especially early tomorrow, just be alert for some slick spots, especially in these areas as we go into tomorrow morning's commute. As far as what we're seeing across First Alert Doppler radar tonight, it has been a pretty quiet evening. We saw the increase in cloud cover earlier this afternoon. We have a lot of dry air in place. So what that means is returns here on the radar picture. This is picking up higher up in the atmosphere, and as it's going down closer to the surface, it's drying up before it reaches the ground. However, you just heard AJ say that he's now seeing some of that snow falling, and this is where AJ is right now. He's in the northwestern parts of Louisa County along 64, I believe, exit 136. We'll get another check-in with AJ here, but that's where we're starting to see a little bit of some light snow falling now. Everywhere else, though, has been pretty quiet tonight. You can see back towards the west, we've got some snow falling from Harrisonburg down towards Roanoke. This will continue to slide eastward as we go throughout the overnight. Cold temperatures right now are in the mid-30s in Louisa, 37 back towards Farmville, 43 at Richmond International. And you can see here the precipitation doesn't last very long. The peak of it about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Some of us just seeing rain, some seeing snow, and it's out of here by 4-5 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll break down in more detail who sees the snow and just how much coming up here in just a bit. Simone, Kurt?
All right, we'll check back. Thank you, Megan. As we mentioned, just rain here in RVA, at least right now. But as we just showed you, to the west of us, the snow is falling.
In Louisa, an additional 3 to 4 inches of snow is expected on top of Monday's 8 inches. That's where we rejoin AJ Nwoko live tonight with the latest on conditions there right now. AJ, has the snow began to fall?
It's begun to fall. It's going at a pretty consistent rate. We're not expecting as much snow in this area as we saw Monday, but the ground is also a lot colder than it was Monday. So the dusting that you see right now, it's going to start sticking a lot faster, and it'll stick around a lot longer too. That means that the VDOT and all the other emergency services in the area are expecting the worst, and that's why they were out treating the roads all day yesterday and today. The Commonwealth has barely finished thawing out from the season's first winter storm, and already state emergency services are preparing for the sequel. Even the National Guard is on standby. This upcoming winter storm isn't expected to drop quite as much snow and ice, but that didn't stop Governor Northam from declaring a state of emergency.
So we just really want to be prepared. We want to have great communication with our emergency management, our VDOT folks, our Virginia State Police, and again, just make sure that everybody stays safe. That's our number one priority.
Most of the area's major roadways have been coated with salt, and VDOT says its fleet is on standby before, during, and after the snowfall.
We've got over 1,400 pieces of equipment ready for the snow season this year in the Richmond district, and we're ready to give it all we've got.
The areas to the north and west of the state, including Spotsylvania and Louisa County, will likely be the hardest hit, with up to 4 inches expected to fall. Tonight, the Department of Emergency Management is warning people not to underestimate Mother Nature and to stay off the roads. Louisa County has been in a local state of emergency since Monday and is expecting Thursday's storm to worsen power outages and road conditions. Tonight, its residents are gathering last-minute supplies.
Things are at short supply. I mean, every time we go somewhere, the stores are so packed that they're about sold out of everything. Bread, milk, eggs, you name it, they're sold out.
The temperature tonight is expected to be much colder than earlier in the week. So snow won't just stick faster, it'll also stick around longer.
The temperatures are going to get cold overnight. So it's important to remember that any wet pavement with temperatures this cold could turn into black ice.
Yeah, black ice isn't the only fear right now. Again, this snow mixed with the precipitation and snow we saw earlier in the week has super saturated the ground here. The other danger that we're going to be worrying about, VDOT tells us, is snapping tree limbs and also down power lines. Again, the snow is coming down a lot faster now, and it's beginning to stick on the ground just a little bit. So if you are in this area, make sure that you are taking heed if you happen to be on the road. Right now, the safest place for you to be is at home. That'll do it for us now live in Louisa. AJ Nwoko, NBC12.
Yeah, you can see the light sprinkle of flurries behind you, AJ. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there tonight. Well, more than half of the people who live in Louisa County are still in the dark. Throughout the day, residents came to the solar spot by Dominion Energy to charge their phones and grab some last-minute supplies. Rappahannock Electric Cooperative says hundreds of additional crews are now on their way to help with this second round of winter weather.
If we do have additional damage by this second storm, they'll be here to help us get the power back on. And if we're lucky and the second storm doesn't cause problems, then they'll just jump right in and work to repair the damage we already have.
The crews are expected to arrive between Friday and the end of the weekend.
And Simone, speaking of outages, here's a look at where we stand right now at this hour ahead of tonight's storm. Dominion reporting over 4,000 outages in Goochland and Louisa, as well as Buckingham. Rappahannock Electric still dealing with more than 29,000 outages. Central Virginia Electric has been hovering at just under 6,000 in the dark. Northern Neck Electric reports over 200 outages, and Southside Electric tonight with just one. And of course, our first alert weather team is on your side as we track the possibility of more wintry weather. So if you haven't already, make sure to download the NBC12 First Alert Weather app. You'll have access to forecast updates in your area right there in the palm of your hand. And you can count on us. We're on your side first thing in the morning with an extra 30 minutes of news. 12 News Today starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow. You can join Anthony, Sarah, Andrew, and Candace for complete live team coverage on the forecast and what could be a messy commute in the morning.
Now to some brand new video tonight. This scene may look familiar to some of you, but no, this is not I-95 and it's not from Monday. Take a look at this video from Western Kentucky Parkway this afternoon. Heavy snow from the same system that our First Alert weather team is tracking first made its way through Kentucky and Tennessee. This was earlier today. In Hardin County, Kentucky, a crash caused a 20 to 30 car pileup. Thankfully, no one was physically injured, but that traffic still painful to be stuck in. And here's new video from Campbell County, Tennessee, which is just north of Knoxville. Heavy snowfall causing slick and dangerous road conditions there. Meantime, Music City covered in a blanket of snow. Nashville reported getting several inches in just a couple of hours. Again, a look at those roads and a reminder as our own winter weather moves in that you should not drive if you do not absolutely have to.
New at 11, a judge has dismissed the lawsuit filed against the Virginia Employment Commission following an agreement between the VEC and plaintiffs. It was back in April, a class action lawsuit made up of several legal groups that represented multiple women was filed, claiming VEC's unemployment system and the state's slow processing of unemployment claims was negligent. The Legal Aid Justice Center said the judge had both parties put together a proposed dismissal. Those two parties came to an agreement and filed the order, which was signed by the judge today. In our COVID-19 coverage, while there's concern over rising COVID cases, health leaders want to remind you about flu. This is flu season after all, and Virginia right now seeing widespread flu cases. Doctors also say there are folks getting hit with the double whammy, COVID and flu at the same time. While the state does not track this co-infection, they are urging Virginians to stay vigilant and to get both the flu and COVID vaccine this year. Now, keep in mind, experts report some studies have shown a stronger immune response to fight those infections when the shots for both flu and COVID are received at around the same time.
As Omicron cases surge, Richmond public schools are facing a staffing shortage as many employees are now staying home with the virus. Superintendent Jason Camrus announced the division had to do some serious staffing shuffling because 160 teachers were out. That is about 8% of the entire workforce. The Omicron wave is expected to peak in mid-January, and RPS hopes staffing will eventually level out. Camrus has vowed to keep schools open no matter what.
We want them in school, and so I support Mr. Camrus on not closing schools.
Our schools have proven to be very, very safe, but we also know that the risk of closure and the impact and the harm that will have in terms of academics and social and emotional health is very high.
The Richmond Education Association released a letter asking what the threshold for sending kids out of the classroom and back to virtual is, but it does not appear that Camrus will budge. Meantime, in Henrico tonight, hundreds of teachers and staff were also out today. Of the more than 7,000 employees of the district, more than 570 of them were out. 404 of those were teachers. Henrico did emphasize these absences are not all COVID related, but no specific number was given for absences linked to the virus.
Governor Northam announcing today $5 million will go towards new testing centers all across the state. The funding will allow the health department to reopen 9 new locations that will offer COVID PCR tests. And as COVID tests continue to be tough to find, we are on your side with places that you can get one. The Richmond Henrico Health District offering testing tomorrow at Diversity Thrift. Meanwhile, Chesterfield also with a testing event Friday. It's from 2 to 4 at the New Deliverance Evangelistic Church. That's on Turner Road. For more details, just go to NBC12.com.
Still much more to come tonight. We're learning more about a deadly apartment fire that killed 12 people, including children. Investigators now say a child and a lighter may be to blame. Those details up next.
And later, what better opportunity to break bread together than being stuck in traffic for 30-plus hours on I-95. We'll tell you how a bread company's slogan came to fruition as their truck turned into the saving grace for stranded and hungry drivers.
And I'll show you the latest hour-by-hour breakdown and just how much snow we could see throughout the overnight. Coming up after the break.
We have an update tonight on the tragic row house fire in Philadelphia that killed 12 people. Investigators are now looking into the possibility that it may have started because of a 5-year-old playing with a lighter who then set the Christmas tree on fire. That's according to a search warrant. Officials say 26 people had been staying in that 3-story brick home. 8 children and 4 adults did not make it out.
We're also getting a clearer picture of just how devastating last week's wildfire in Colorado really was. Officials now say the flames destroyed more than 1,000 homes and other buildings in Boulder and caused more than $500 million in damage. It is the most destructive wildfire in state history. 2 people are still listed as missing, though officials have found partial human remains at one location.
A solemn moment on the Capitol steps tonight. Lawmakers and Capitol Hill staff gathered for an outdoor prayer vigil to mark 1 year since the Capitol riot. This moment of prayer followed fiery remarks from President Biden, who disavowed those who attacked the U.S. Capitol 1 year ago today. Now at 11, Chris Pallone with the story.
On the Capitol steps tonight, a solemn vigil, a contrast to the scene which unfolded here 1 year ago.
We prayerfully walk 1 year since the insurrection and patriotically honor the heroes who defended the Capitol.
It capped a day filled with tributes and remembrances. Lawmakers recounted the trauma of living through the Capitol siege.
I never imagined I would be on my hands and knees with staffers, colleagues, reporters, and cameramen, all hoping we got out safely.
I will allow no one to place a dagger at the throat of democracy.
Earlier, President Biden spoke in Statuary Hall.
The pain and scars from that day run deep.
A year ago, it was filled with supporters of former President Trump trying to stop the certification of Biden's election victory. The president laid the blame directly on his predecessor.
For the first time in our history, a president had not just lost an election, he tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power as a violent mob breached the Capitol.
In one of several statements he issued Thursday, former President Trump called the day's events political theater. Most Republicans skipped the commemorations. Only Congresswoman Liz Cheney and former Vice President Dick Cheney there for a moment of silence. The nation's partisan divide on display once again, a year after democracy ultimately held. NBC News has confirmed that during the Capitol siege a year ago, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris was at the Democratic National Committee headquarters when a pipe bomb was discovered outside. Secret Service evacuated her, but to this day, no one has been arrested for leaving that bomb or one outside the Republican National Committee headquarters. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Accurate, reliable, breaking weather specialists. This is NBC12 First Alert Weather.
Watching our First Alert Weather Day for the overnight snow that we are going to track throughout the next several hours. This is much different if you compare it to the system we first had earlier in the week. It is going to move out of here very quickly, and it's not going to dump nearly as much precipitation as what we did have for Monday. What we are expecting timing-wise now through about 4 o'clock in the morning. So while most of us are sleeping, that's when the precipitation is going to fall. And by the time most of us wake up tomorrow, it's already out of here and we'll be seeing some sunshine. We are expecting mainly just snow for our counties towards the northwest, even north of Richmond. And that's where we'll see our highest accumulations. Unfortunately, in those areas that were the hardest hit on Monday, we are expecting a couple of additional inches of snow, and I'll show you the latest snowfall totals map. And then in Richmond, we are going to see some rain showers to start, and then a brief period or window where we'll see a little bit of some snow before it exits, and that could be a coating up to 1 inch, and that's generous around the Richmond metro. And then again, it's gone by sunrise, so a very quick moving system. This is a look at where it sits right now. I think the bullseye of where we're going to see the most amount of snow is going to be up towards Pennsylvania, but here's a look at where we sit right now in Virginia. We've got some reports of light snow in Charlottesville. I've seen video back towards Harrisonburg and down into Roanoke. You saw AJ's live shot in Louisa County, seeing the start of some snow falling, but generally it's been a quiet evening. We saw the increase in cloud cover earlier this afternoon. We'll keep a mainly cloudy sky, and we'll continue to watch that system moving in from the west here, and it'll continue to pick up as we go throughout the next several hours. It's going to take a little bit, though, for these temperatures to cool down to start to see some of that snow. We're still in the low 40s in New Kent County, Richmond, 43 degrees. Up towards Tappahannock, we're at 41 degrees. Colder back towards the northwest. Louisa's at 35, and Farmville is at 37. This is the hour by hour as we go into the midnight 1 o'clock hour. Notice north of town, this is just mainly snow. Richmond here seeing some rain showers, and that's where we're expecting south of town, also east of town, to be mainly just rain through about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you saw that brief window here around the Richmond Metro, even out towards the west end, where we might see just a little bit of some snow. So that's where we're calling for just a coating up to an inch possible of snow. And then we're looking at snow up towards Tappahannock and even the northern neck. Richmond County up towards Westmoreland County, you'll see some snow through about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And this is a look at how much we're expecting. Again, lesser amounts from Richmond, point south, where we're just expecting mainly just rain, and that'll be the case as well over towards West Point, New Kent County, Charles City County, into Chesterfield, northern Dinwiddie County. The farther north we go, where we are anticipating just plain old snow, is where we're going to see some accumulation. So please watch for slick spots overnight and especially early tomorrow. Hanover County are in the 1 to 3 inch zone that stretches up towards Tappahannock and Essex County, and then we are going to be watching for 2 to 3 inches of snow from Fluvanna to Louisa up towards Orange County. I think high end right now is 4 inches of snow when all is said and done. Temperature wise, early tomorrow, we'll drop into the upper 20s. It's a cold day for us tomorrow. As we go into your commute, we're looking at sunshine. Again, nothing will be falling from 6, 7, 8 o'clock. We're dry. Just watch for some slick spots. Big story tomorrow is just going to be the cold that's going to set in. Despite the sunshine not warming up, we stay breezy, so that'll make it feel even colder. Cold continues into Saturday. We start in the teens during the morning. We're cold during the day, mid-30s, and then our next round of precipitation moves in the end of the weekend, but this in the form of rain, and it does look right now like the second half of the day on Sunday. We'll be right back after this break. Now at 11, the mess on I-95 has cleared up, but with thousands of people trapped, news stories of those stuck continue to come to light.
Besides the freezing temperatures, stranded families were hungry and desperate for food.
But a Maryland couple noticed they were stuck behind a bread truck with a familiar logo on it. And that's when they got a great idea. Jackie Benson explains.
We see one of your trucks right in front of us. Is there any chance that he has bread on the truck? And is there any chance that you'd be kind enough to open the door?
The call to H&S Bakeries came from Casey Hollahan No. She and her husband John had been heading down I-95 from Ellicott City to North Carolina to visit family. John's a senior airman in the Air Force, and they wanted to see their family before moving to Germany next week. After nearly 21 hours in the massive backup caused by the snowstorm, and assuming the cold, frightened people stuck all around them were as hungry as they were, Casey decided to email the address on the bakery company truck stuck in front of them. 20 minutes later, she was talking to one of the owners of H&S Family of Bakeries, founded in Baltimore in 1943.
It was definitely a very scary situation, and we had no idea how long we would be there for.
Inside the bakery truck, driver Ron Hill had been praying. He knew there were hungry people all around him. And that was the moment Casey No walked up to the truck, knocked on his window, held up her phone and said, "Your boss Chuck wants to talk to you." With Ron Hill's assistance, the Noes and other volunteers maneuvered through the ice and snow and distributed the contents of the truck to the grateful occupants of an estimated 150 cars, only then stopping to eat some potato rolls themselves.
And we just kept giving it out until we couldn't walk anymore because it was so freezing. It felt incredible just hearing people say thank you and hearing people just so relieved to finally have food in their car, food in their system, in their kids' system. It was a really incredible feeling.
Driver Ron Hill was back on the road making deliveries for a company whose mission statement includes the phrase, "We create opportunities to break bread together." Stay with us. We're back with a final check of weather after this.
Last check on the forecast here for overnight's first alert weather day. We are seeing reports of some light snow up towards Louisa County. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet, but we'll have a window over the next about 4.5, 5 hours where we'll continue to see some of the snow moving in from the west. Some areas just staying as rain, especially south of Richmond and east of town. But you can see if you're northwest and north of Richmond through about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, this is where we're going to see couple of inches of accumulation, so please watch for some slick spots early tomorrow if you have to be out and about. Otherwise, Friday is cold. We'll see some sunshine. It'll be breezy, and again, the higher amounts will be seen north and northwest of town, where we could be seeing upwards of 2, 3 inches of snow up towards Louisa and Fluvanna counties. Kurt, Simone.
All right, Megan, keeping us safe and prepared. Thanks so much. And before we go tonight, we do have a reminder. Our 12 News Today team will be going on air 30 minutes early tomorrow morning to help you get out the door. Starting at 4 a.m., Andrew will have what you need to know about tomorrow's First Alert Weather Day. And of course, Candace will be watching road conditions. That's going to do it for us here tonight at 11. The Tonight Show is up next.
Stay safe out there tomorrow, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 11. Bye-bye.